Hey, here on Earth, we got a bunch of cool animals doing animal stuff. But how much do we actually know about them? Let's talk about some neat animal facts you may or may not already know. Let's start with something called island dwarfism. Island dwarfism is when a land animal or bird shrinks in size over several generations due to the lack of food present on the island they ended up on, hence the name. This may sound like a weird move on Mother Nature's part, but let me explain why. When an animal, let's say a moose, finds themselves on an isolated island miles away from their initial habitat with no way back, they have to go under a lot of changes to adapt to their new environment. Moose usually live in cold forests with plenty of bark and twigs to munch on, but now all that is gone except for whatever's on the island. With this kind of change, you'd think this would be the end. However, instead of letting them starve, Mother Nature shrinks them, sacrificing size for a diet more sustainable to what food is available. The smaller they are, the less food they need. For a real example, here we have a white-tailed deer, and next to them is their castaway cousin, the key deer. Key difference being their size. However, not all animals will shrink in size in response to this change. Already small mammals and some reptiles will go through the opposite change, island gigantism, which is basically the opposite of island dwarfism. The island already has more than enough food to sustain the small critters, but now they don't have as much competition as they used to. Thus they grow in size to take advantage of it, or to compete with other animals already living on the island, which would probably most likely be crabs and seabirds. All this sounds cool and all, but how does an animal get from the mainland all the way to the island across the sea by itself? Well, just like how we use cargo ships to move across sea, animals would sometimes use rafts to travel from big land to small land. Except, unlike cargo ships, these rafts are more like piles of branches and leaves clumped together through luck and thrown into the sea than an actual boat. With this in mind, only animals the size of a small dog are the best candidates for Mother Nature's castaways. But regardless of their size, they are still gambling to get their so-called private luxury island. When you take into account the formation of the raft, the animal, and the direction and location of point A and point B, there's a good chance the animal will just drift out into the sea and never be heard from again, assuming they didn't already sink. Either find the island of no competition over food and no predators, or die trying. Anyway, that's all for today. See you next time, and thank you for watching.